Are you looking to make some money in the current real estate market in Las Vegas? Well, if you stick around, you're going to find out the 10 things you must know right now to buy and flip a house in Las Vegas and keep you from losing your shirt. Hoorah! Thanks for checking out my channel. My name is Eric Hudson. I'm a real estate agent here at Keller Williams Realty in Las Vegas and a retired Air Force officer. My team gets calls, texts, emails every day from people just like you looking to make the move to Las Vegas, and we love it. We work our butts off nights, days, weekends, just to make sure your move is smooth as possible. It doesn't matter, we've got your back. We put out new videos every single week, teach you everything you want to know about living, working, and playing in beautiful Sin City, aka Las Vegas. So subscribe below, hit that bell icon for notifications, and you'll be the first to know. We have a new video out teaching you everything you want to know about living in Las Vegas. The process is involved in renovating a fixer-upper into a forever home and flipping a rundown house on a 3-month time schedule are not at all similar, and confusing the two can lead to tens of thousands down the drain and blown budgets. Rehab projects can be extremely lucrative, but only if you treat them like a business, as tight profit margins tend to leave to no room for mistakes. Here are the 10 pitfalls you'll run across and what you can do to avoid them and make a real profit. First of all, you guys like my hat? I made it myself. I'm just going to go like, hey, I'm new. Live it. So number one is getting emotionally involved in the rehab project. Successful home flippers look for the hair on the deal. The hairier, the better. In other words, the ugliest piece of garbage promises the deepest discounts. Flipping is a business, but people treat it like a personal hobby by overbuilding and designing homes they want to live in. I've seen people who live in $1 million homes put fixtures, finishes, and appliances they have at home on a $400,000 rehab property. Inevitably, this pushes the budget beyond what the property can stand. And most importantly, people aren't going to pay you for those extra upgrades. That's just money down the drain so you can make it look the way you want it to look, not the way people are expecting. Overpaying for the rehab property. Many people get into property flipping without the ability to evaluate a property's value. They say the tax records show the property's worth $400,000. And 6 other homes in the neighborhood are listed for $400,000, so that means this property is worth $400,000. However, none of that information has anything to do with the property's value. Find out what the last 5, 6, or 7 homes similar to your flip property have recently sold for, and base your numbers on the averages of those sales. To find accurate data, subscribe to an online service offering comparable sales. Or you can reach out and see what resources I have. I actually have a few resources that can help you out. You can get those numbers from your real estate agent. But remember that agents have skin in the game too. They can work on the numbers to push that average up to make your rehab property look like it's worth more than it actually is. They may be just looking to make a quick sale on the buy side. And if you sell, hey, all the better. They may have doubled their profit. Next one is moving too slowly on a rehab property. Good deals do not last. If you hear about a deal, you want to make an offer within 5 minutes before any other investor finds out. Your agent calls and says, hey, looks like this house is worth $600,000, needs $100,000 in work. We can get this sucker for $400,000. Now, that's a potential of $100,000 in gross profits. You know, you got your cost of selling, you got the realtor to take care of and everything else. But, hey, that's up to you. You can control your costs. So you should hang up, run the comparable sales immediately, analyze those numbers. If the average sales price for the other similar homes is really $600,000, then call that agent back and write up an offer. To be comfortable with making an offer so quickly, you can embed a 5 to 7 day option period into the contract, which gives you enough time to negotiate the property. But in all honesty, here in Nevada, you usually have 7 to 10 days where you can cancel for any reason without your earnest money being in jeopardy. So you can get that back. Would you rather purchase a property, look at it and go like, oh, I can't do that, and go get your money back? Or would you rather continue to lose deal after deal? You may not even have to risk your earnest money if you go and look over everything immediately. Remember, that earnest money is not even due for 2 business days, which means if you made a offer and got accepted on Friday, you don't have to pay the money until Tuesday. And don't let the other agent don't try to fool you saying it's calendar days. It's business days. Business. I never heard of business conducted, in reality on weekends. Yes, we do business, but it's bank business days. Think of it that way, bank days. Adding this period in some states can cost between 150, but we don't have those here. We have due diligence where you can cancel for anything. People don't realize how much power the buyer can have as long as you do everything right. So it allows you to control the deals quickly. And again, in Vegas, that ain't a thing. Be ready to move before you even hear about a deal. Get pre-approved from your mortgage company or hard money lender before you even start thinking about your first rehab property. This stuff about, when I find my first property, I'll start. Look, no. Have your insurance contact, your general contractors lined up unless you're doing the work yourself, and be ready to go. Do not sleep on a deal. Number 4, failing to obtain a written bid for all repairs before the contract. Sometimes the seller will not give you an option no matter what. In this case, your earnest money could be extremely hard to get back in other states besides Nevada. Since you may not be able to get it back, you want to take more precautions. But here in Nevada, hey, you got your 10 days. Make sure you put those 10 days in. And I'm going to flip this around to people selling their homes to investors. When they put in something crazy like 15 days, reject that contract. Reject it. I'll get in maybe another video just to for people who are selling their houses to investors. Trust me, reject it. On this video, put in 15 days because here I'm representing you, the investor. Okay, most importantly, here in Nevada, there are 5 easy ways to get your money back. The number 1 way is during the inspection period known as due diligence. You can cancel for any reason during due diligence. I looked at the guy across the street and he went to the University of Utah and I went to BYU. I hate him. I hate him so bad I want to curse today. And I went to Brigham Young. Be ready to move quickly and take the realtor's rehab estimates as kind of, suspect. They're not, unless they're used to be a general contractor, it's not going to really work too much. But agent who's experienced will be able to kind of figure it out. And also remember, there are 2 different rehab costs, really about 3. 1 is if you use a general contractor. 2 is if you use yourself. And 3 is if you know the right people. And you don't get into that. If the agent estimates $100,000 in a rehab, flippers assume that's correct and put up the earnest money. This can be a bad idea. Instead, you need a written bid. Your agent is not an expert and do not rely on that for your financial well-being. That $100,000 estimate can easily come out to $120,000, and that could ultimately kill the deal, especially if you're working like with partners and stuff. You need to make a certain amount for each one. An agent's estimate is always going to be low because think about that. That agent wants to get that money. They want to make that sale. In a pitch, add 50% to that estimate. If the agent says it's going to be $50,000, they know people, blah, 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 say it's going to be $75,000. If that number works, then go ahead with the deal. Number 5, failing to vet contractors. Anyone can slap a sign on a truck. I mean, Fred Sanford did it. He called himself a drunk dealer, but they can call themselves a contractor. But not all contractors are created equal. You could pay $30,000 up front on your $100,000 project and start off with 6 workers at the house. Then you pay the second $30,000 a few weeks later, and you find only 2 workers at your house. Well, this means the contractor's going like, I done got my 60. I'm sending these people to another job. And they done moved 4 workers someplace else. Your stuff's not getting done in time. You're sitting there with a hard money loan and they're just taking your money and your stuff's not getting done. And now you're paying a bunch of interest. You don't want to do that. Don't make these mistakes. Check those references before you sign with these contractors and make sure that any reference is recent. And sometimes you may need to get references for the references because it's easy for me to give you a sheet of references. I mean, you ever applied for a job? You're always supposed to submit references with your resume, right? You think you didn't call those references ahead of time? What are you going to say? So if you're looking for referrals from clients who have actually seen the contractors work in the last 6 to 9 months and who can answer hard questions. If they can't answer hard questions and they can't just be, like this with you, don't trust those. Ask questions like, did the contractor finish on time? Did they perform quality work? Or did they nickel and dime? It's easy to give you an estimate for 100,000 and then start nickel and diming you to 120. Don't let that happen to you. Number 6, neglecting to agree on a penalty if the contractor does not finish on time. Give your contractors hard deadlines and penalties for not meeting them. They're going to nickel and dime you, nickel and dime them. You didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on you. When you allow contractors to procrastinate and pull workers to other jobs, that 3-month rehab turns into a 6-month rehab with no end in sight, and you paying high interest on a hard money loan. To prevent this, build a penalty directly into the contract. For example, if the contractor tells me that he needs $100,000 for a rehab and it'll take 3 months, say, great, I'm going to give you 3.5 months. And after that, it's a $200 penalty for each day or something that actually hurts. Because $200 may not hurt. $100,000 job, they also nickel and dimed you. It's $150 now. What's $200 a day? That ain't nothing. Those other workers are someplace else. It may take me an extra month, but okay, it cost me $6,000, but I had your money. So if that goes past that 3.5 months, make sure you can collect that. Overbuilding for the neighborhood. Oh my goodness. So you get excited about a project and you just start overspending. You're adding this and you're adding that, and the $100,000 rehab turns into $130, and your margins, boop, 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 gone. Remember, you have closing costs. You have closing costs when you bought the house. You got closing costs when you sell the house. You have commissions when you sell the house. You got taxes when you sell the house. Wow. And according to when you do it, there are certain loans you can do and certain loans you can't. You got to really cover this stuff. Can you imagine losing $30,000 that you didn't expect? I don't know about you, but I can do a lot with $30,000. So you're originally looking to make $30,000 on a deal, but now you're only making 30. I ain't gonna lie, 30,000 is some good money, but you really wanted that 60. If you're going to flip 1 or 2 houses a year or 3, losing 30 on each of them, I don't know about you, but my wife would not like that. To avoid this syndrome, keep a track of your numbers religiously. Calculate the total cost of your project. And if you're tempted to make a sudden change or fixtures or finish, see how that math impacts your running total. Make sure that it's actually going to make sense. Next, trying to sell a rehab property for over the neighborhood average. When you price your rehab too high, it's going to be slow to sell. You're going to increase your holding costs. The longer the property sits on the market, the more you pay. And here's the worst part. The less money you make. To avoid this, run a comparable price on your rehab. Someone should give you the price to sell it low, where it'll sell within 30 days, average price I'll sell within 45 days, and a high price that may keep it on the market for 90 days or more. You may say you can stand for that. Be very honest. A lot of times the market does not catch up with you, even in a rising market. Your realtor should be able to give you good numbers for this and make sure they're truthful and they're not just running numbers that you want to hear. Because, oh, wow, I'd really like to have that money. Then you don't get it, and then they come back to you, oh, the market just didn't respond. Because there's a saying in real estate, it's better to have an overpriced listing that you can adjust later than to have another realtor take that listing. Don't fall for that trick. While the home is on the market, you're on the books for insurance, taxes, mortgage payments, and possibly utilities. And you have to have utilities on while it's listed, meaning that every month that passes without a sale eats into your profits. You'll always make more in the long run by asking for the average price rather than holding out for top dollar. That may never come. Number 9, using the wrong type of mortgage. I see so many people taking out loans against their homes or 401k because they cannot use a conventional mortgage. A conventional mortgage will not finance a rehab house. Remember, we're talking about a house with a lot of hair on the deal. Missing windows, missing doors, trashed cabinets, no flooring, all of that stuff. And you cannot get a conventional loan on that type of home. If Fannie Mae goes in and they see there's no carpet in one of the bedrooms, you're not going to get a loan. Keep the out-of-pocket costs low. Finance your rehab with a bridge loan or a hard money loan, which will lump the sales price and the rehab money together. In addition, down payments on those loans are far lower, meaning you spend less money upfront to obtain the funding for your repairs. You can access these kinds of loans more easily by joining a local real estate investor club. Also, one other thing is if you want to find a hard money lender, just reach out. I have a few. I will not lie to you, I have not used them, but what I do know is they are reaching out to me, so at least you'll have a few so you can have some options to go through. And finally, number 10, using low quality parts to think you're saving money. If you skimp when you rehab a home, people will notice. Picture a gorgeous white designer gown with a minuscule speck on the hem. That is where your eyes will gravitate to. For an anecdotal example, I've heard of a woman once walking right under an $18,000 chandelier to point out a slightly misaligned piece of crown molding. You always want to show a home with the highest quality parts and fixtures, but keep in mind, the other side of this problem is about getting emotionally attached to your rehab property and overbuilding. There's a big difference between high quality parts and ego-based parts. If you're doing a $1.5 million rehab, use the ego parts like the Viking and Sub-Zero in the kitchen. The high quality parts is what you want in most of your flips. Because I'll be very honest, I know a lot of people around here who have gotten used to the cheap flippers, and they'll just tell their clients, they just put craps in their houses. As a matter of fact, I did a video and I called it Putting Lipstick on a Pig, and it was about some flips. I'm going to link it up here below, hopefully. And if you get to that, you'll kind of see, and I'm probably going to update that video and try to see what's going on locally in the market, right in the here and now, because that was a while back. But you got to be careful. Other side of this coin, if you're a buyer, be very careful about what they're putting out there, because it can be 100% crap, okay? The knowledge behind successfully flipping homes, rehabbing rentals, and owning apartment complexes fills entire bookshelves and libraries. These tips are merely just the tip of the iceberg. Before you go out and look at a flip property, educate yourself. Take the time to read a book, pick a mentor's brain, and attend some seminars to equip yourself with knowledge that you will not regret. You know what? We would really love for you to join us here in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas or Henderson. And so keep in mind, we help with relocation or PCSs here to the Las Vegas area. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us our email, or better yet, get on that calendar. The link's down below. It's up in the, even the little picture that has the channel trailer. It's right there too. We're happy to help you make that smooth move to Las Vegas. Be sure to subscribe below so that you're the first to know about what's going on in the current market here in Las Vegas. We put out videos every week with the intent to help you learn everything that you want to know, the good, the bad, the ugly of living here in Sin City. So if you'll be so kind, shoot us a comment. Let us know if there are any other questions that you may have, and if there are any other videos that you would like to see. Maybe we'll have a chance to make them to help you learn more about living in Las Vegas. Also, hit that like button. It's what helps the YouTube algorithm put our information out there so other great folks just like you can learn more about making that move to Las Vegas. It helps us so much, and we really appreciate it. All right, that's it for the day, and we'll keep the lights on for you.